So I've got a really exciting desk build project coming up, and one of the things I'm looking at is how I'm going to fix it all together. And I've decided I'm going to use dowels. But one of the issues we may face when using dowels is that it doesn't go in vertically. And that's obviously really important when you're making stuff. So bring on the drill block. I did buy this quite a while ago actually, and I haven't actually got round to using it. I just thought it'd be a really good, handy tool to have in the workshop. I've often used part of a combination square to ensure that my dowels are vertical, but it's not always the best way to do it. Whereas with this inside here, we've got these metal collars, which obviously sit vertical to the workpiece that it's sitting on. The drill goes in and it keeps the drill straight. On the top and the bottom, it's got little rubber feet here. So obviously when this is sitting on your workpiece, it does actually grip quite well. So I'm trying to shift that side to side there, which is really good. And obviously you can use that upside down as well. I was kind of thinking, why would you do it that way? And I think the reason is because on the side here, you've actually got this right angle cutout, which allows you to put a dowel actually on the corner of a piece of timber, for example. And because of that, this line here doesn't run all the way to the bottom. Now these lines that are scribed on here actually line up to the center of these collars here. So if you've got a piece of timber marked out and you know exactly where the center point is, where the hole is going, all you need to do is line your jig up with the marks. The other way you could use this is by putting your drill bit into the drill block, and here I'm using a pointed end drill bit, which is going to give you a much more accurate starting point on your mark, and then we could just line that up with the center, hold the block down and drill away. Well, let's give it a go, shall we? I've got my dowels. I've got 3 different sized dowels. I've got 6, 8 and 10, and obviously with the corresponding drill bits. So first of all, we'll just put the 6mm drill bit in, and we'll just do a few random holes with this, just holding the block as well. So you can see that the drill itself stays quite upright. So we'll stick one of these 6mm dowels in, and yeah, that looks okay. It's going to be a little bit tricky to tell how vertical it is with just one of those. So let's try it with the 8mm drill and dowel. And then once we've got a bit more dowel sticking out of the timber, then we'll stick a square on it. Let's just do the same thing here. So we're going 8mm now. So it's starting to get a little bit tighter. I think the bigger you go, the tighter they tend to get. But that's not absolute. So that's nice. I mean, it looks vertical. We don't know just yet. What I will do is put some holes in the end of a bit of timber. Put that down, put a square on that, see what happens. So let's have a go with the 10mm. What I might do with this 10mm one is actually clamp it. So if you start using a bigger drill, there's more chance of you losing control of it, maybe. So what we'll do, we'll just put a couple of clamps on that. Now you're not always going to be able to do this. You're only really going to be able to do it on the end of a piece of timber or board or whatever it is you're putting the hole into, the dowel into. So that really isn't going anywhere. So it should be nice and easy doing this one. I mean, that feels really nice and controlled. I know if you're trying to do a hole for a dowel with all best intentions, keeping it as vertical as possible, You're still going to get a little bit of wobble where you're trying to keep it upright, vertical, and therefore it is going to maybe allow the dowel to go in at a bit of an angle or what have you. So if you're good at that kind of thing, carry on. Or you can get yourself one of these, which essentially is just a block with a few holes in. You could do something like this on a pillar drill. Just get a piece of hardwood, or if you know someone who does metal work, a lump of metal, and just put some holes in it. It's going to do exactly the same thing. But that looks nice. I'm going to put a hole in this edge here, but using this side, it's not very stable. So I'm going to use this side, which actually allows you to keep the tool flat on the timber. And I'm not using a clamp this time. See, that's why you want to clamp it down. You start using a bigger drill and it gets a little bit risky. Anyway, I've got my hole. Stick that in there. And then stick that in there. And look at that, that's lovely. I mean, yes, there's movement. There's always going to be some movement. But to make something like a desk and put all the panels together using dowels and then finishing it off with fixing plates, I think that's going to be the answer. So let's put another 10mm hole in and let's see how vertical it is. And we'll pop the dowel in, not too far, just far enough for it to straighten. And then we'll put that on, and that is absolutely spot on. Check that all the way round. That is beautiful. That's how you get a vertical dowel. If you are going to be using a drill bit just like this, it would be wise to actually mark out where you want the hole and line it up with this particular jig and the lines that are on it. Otherwise, you're trying to get this point here exactly in position. It's going to be a little bit tricky. So I would definitely line that up in this example. But if you have got one of these, it's perfect. You can either do it as the way I showed you earlier, find the point, put it on there, drop the jig down, or you can do it exactly the same way as with another drill bit. Find the center, pop it in, pop it in, pop it in, pop it in, and Bob's your uncle. Or maybe he isn't your uncle. I don't know. Just before I go, one more thing to say is that I would use a piece of masking tape to measure and tape off how deep I wanted to go. So if I was going to go 10mm deep, obviously just put some tape around there at 10mm, something like that, and then you know when the end of the tape hits the jig, you can stop. You can get collars and sleeves that go on drill bits which prevent you from drilling too far and setting up stops, but a bit of tape, just as easy. Okay, that's it from me and the drill block. I'll put a link to this in the description box down below, so you can go check it out, go buy one if you want to. Next week, I'm going to be focused on building my desk. I've done the design. I'm picking up the timber tomorrow. I'm going to start cutting it all up. I'm doing a video, show you how to make it, how I'm making it. That's going to be coming out probably in about a week or so time from the published date of this video. Fantastic. Thanks for watching. See you next time.